Boundaries are the limits we set with ourselves around what we will or will not tolerate. In talking about healthy and unhealthy boundaries, healthy boundaries are those set from a place of self-love, self-worth, and self-esteem, while unhealthy boundaries are those set from a place of bitterness, resentment, anger, and frustration. Things to know in setting boundaries: self-awareness. How do you feel about different issues? What are your preferences? Communicate and express your desires. If you don't communicate, people won't know your boundaries. I would suggest you express it with lots of kindness and empathy. You cannot take responsibility for how other people feel. Your duty is to communicate your boundaries to people. How they respond is not your responsibility. Stop trying to force harmony. You are not always going to be liked by everybody, and that is okay. Just say no to whatever doesn't serve you. Again, say it with grace and gratitude. In setting boundaries, bear in mind that there are 7 types of boundaries, and setting for all the 7 areas is advised for effectiveness. Let's quickly run through the 7 types of boundaries and examples of setting each of them. 1. Physical boundaries. Knowing you're not a touchy person, self-awareness in action. You kindly inform people who enjoy touching others not to touch you, as it makes you uncomfortable. If you must come visit me, you should call to inform me, and I will tell you if it's a good time to receive visitors. A lot of people call it personal space. Sexual boundaries. Communicate with your partner things you will not do in the bedroom. Emotional boundaries. If we are having a conversation or argument, and you start to insult me or raise your voice at me, I'm done with that conversation. I'm going to walk away. But remember, you have to first communicate with them. This is a boundary you can't cross. When we are conversing, you cannot raise your voice at me or insult me. If you do, I'm done and I'm walking out of that conversation. Spiritual boundaries. I'm not going to betray my spiritual values and damage my spiritual health just because I want to fit in or please anybody. Set boundaries around your spiritual values to protect them. Time boundaries. If I usually go to bed by say 10 p.m., I'm not going to break it just because some friends called for us to hang out at that time. Financial boundaries. This one is strictly for yourself. You set boundaries on how much you spend weekly or monthly. 7. Non-negotiable boundaries. These are the things that you cannot change your mind on. This type of boundary deals with your values as a person. Boundaries are not about turning you into a robot. They don't stiff you or box you in. These boundaries just help others to see that you respect and honor yourself, and that will leave them no choice but to treat you with such respect and honor in return. Of course, you are human and can make adjustments when necessary. I want you to know that you cannot keep breaking your own boundaries and expect others to keep them. Boundaries are not just about walling or shielding yourself from other people. It involves setting lots of personal boundaries and having the discipline to follow through. If you're just starting out setting boundaries, people will not be comfortable with it and might even fight it. But just keep at it and everybody would eventually come around. If you struggle with people not respecting you as a person or not giving you the honor you think you deserve, try setting boundaries and watch the relationships in your life take a new turn.